Hi, welcome to KXAN Plus and happy holidays. Thank you for joining us here this week of December. I am here for the Space episode with, of course, our KXAN, Eric Henrickson, our space expert, and a giggly man over there in the corner.
We're here the week of whatever, December.
The week of December.
The week of December. You know the wonderful week of December.
The wonderful week of December where Christmas happens maybe sometimes.
Yeah, it's Christmas week. Christmas week. It's for us the 23rd, but this airs like 20 times, doesn't it? So
hopefully we just air it a week long because are you going to be gone? Are you trying to tell me?
I'm gone. Yeah, so next week, no show.
Oh, okay.
So this week, show. So maybe they'll air it twice.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the stuff we're talking about is pretty fine. We're talking about Santa a little bit, but just
we'll talk about
things up.
How we track Santa, though.
Yeah.
Like some cool
With
parts.
spy satellites. Isn't that wild?
That is wild.
But we should talk about space and the space first, shouldn't we? We're going to get sidetracked so fast if we're not careful.
First, we are talking about Mars, as we always do.
Yes, we're very serious. Talking about Mars, as we always do.
And the rover that is going to die on Mars pretty soon, right?
Is it? Twist? No.
It's not going to die?
No, it's not dying.
I thought it was dying.
No. I definitely made my headline a little clickbaity.
You are always clickbaiting.
Well, yeah, I want you to click on. We're talking about science here, and I'm always worried people are not as excited as they should be. So this is
not Santa. This is a
not
robot.
Santa. This is Curiosity. This is the Mars rover Curiosity. By the way, this video here is from 2011. So if you see it kind of like jump and make smaller for a minute, that's just because it's a really old video, and for some reason it didn't want to scale up without burning. I don't know. Usually this stuff's fine, but this video was weird. Anyway, Curiosity is in 2011 when we launched that to Mars, and in 2012 it landed. It's been operational there for, 13 years? Mm-hmm. 13 years we've been operational on Mars with the Mars Curiosity rover. It's the size of a car, by the way, which I didn't realize how big this thing is.
Gosh, I wish that was my car. It looks pretty cool.
I mean, I don't think it moves very fast. It's a pretty slow-moving rover. But in just a few days here, we're going to December 27th through January 20th. We're not going to hear anything from it. It's going to go quiet.
So it's not going to die. It's just going to disappear for a little bit.
A little bit.
Go on vacation.
So here's what's happening. The universe spins.
No, really?
Right. So basically what's happening is Mars and Earth, every couple years, they get onto the opposite sides of the sun, which is called a conjunction. And during a conjunction, basically, it's like,
you need to warn me.
I didn't know I was going to do this. So Earth, Mars, Sun. And because of that, I have a cup here I could put up. Anyway, Earth, Mars, Sun. And because of that, radio signals do not travel easily through the sun. They can, but they get scrambled and mixed up. So during these conjunctions, everything on Mars just goes dark. Which one thing I kept reading about I was reading through like scientist blogs. It's like that's their vacation.
That's what I was
They're like,
thinking.
well, let's take it like a month long.
It's
vacation.
the holidays.
That's their holidays because otherwise they're always working. So Curiosity's going to go dark. Perseverance also there is going to go dark. I was reading about this through the Curiosity blog, and I thought it was kind of fun to talk about Curiosity. And it did some fun science experiments right beforehand. It was in this canyon, and it kind of took samples from the canyon real quick. It took some material samples and did some chemical analysis, and then it did like a trek across the surface, and it was analyzing that trek, and then it kind of planted itself on top of this crater as like a parking spot. Oh. And it's like, we're going to park here for the next month. I'm going to
stay here.
We're going to stay for the next month while we get no signal. So it does go dark. It will not be operational for a month, but we'll turn it back on at the end of January.
And I wish we could see what the conditions around it are while it's just parked there and not doing much.
I think the animations are pretty much what it looks like. It's just kind of like...
Let me bring them back up.
Yeah, I think it's kind of just, empty Mars. That is Earth, sadly. You can tell because there's plants and there's actual camera, but the animations kind of showed off really well. It did some chemical analysis. It did some terrain analysis on the way over to its spot. It did some cloud observations. It has driven, do I have that number here? 22 miles since 2012. So
that's not a lot.
No, it's not. It's pretty slow moving. But you keep in mind also it's moving. It's taking analysis.
Stops.
It's like scanning stuff. It's doing. It has drills. It has a camera. It has all these different things on board. All these different instruments. One of the things it has is this drill that can pull samples out and take
so far
images of it.
So far, what has it done leading up to this holiday break that it's taking?
The big ones it did were the chemical analysis of the ridge, the terrain imaging, and some cloud cover observations because it has a camera up top. And so it kind of captured those things. Yeah, that's pretty much what Mars looks like. Just looks like West Texas.
That's a crazy picture.
I love one of these animations. I don't think it was this one. There's one later we're going to show you. Oh, yeah, it's the one for Perseverance. Somebody at NASA put like audio beneath it. Just take a listen closely when we're playing it because they go. It just made me laugh. I'm like, no one ever does that. I get so many of these animations from Mars.
They're trying to make it so cinematic.
Yeah, because the animations are cool. I always think they do some really cool animations. NASA does and JPL and all the different imaging groups that work with them. So it's like, yeah, make it a little more cinematic. So let's talk about conjunctions for a second. So this is called a superior, or this is called just a conjunction. And there's a thing called an opposition. And an opposition is, I'm going to do the thing with my hands.
Okay, let's make you bigger.
So Earth, Sun, Mars. So the Earth's in the middle this time. That's called an opposition.
Yeah.
And you have conjunctions and oppositions for anything that's on the outside of Earth's orbit. So, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, I'm not going to consider because it's the dwarf planet, but the others, they have conjunctions and oppositions. So if Jupiter, for instance, is on the opposite side of our sun and the sun's in the middle, that's called a conjunction. And you also have a thing called a great conjunction, which happens every 20 years, where Jupiter and Saturn are both aligned. And keep in mind, these things
I've seen pictures or renderings of that specific one.
2020 it happened. So you probably saw the photos from there. It's going to happen again in 2040. So keep in mind, these are like hundreds of millions of miles apart, right? They're not close, none of these planets. So to get them all aligned, and they're all in the same rough orbit, like they're pretty close on the orbital plane, but they're also rotating and stuff. It's not like you have, this is the orbital plane, it's not like you have...
Oops, did not mean to do that.
I know, you thought it was going to go one direction, one different. You don't have things that are offset, yeah.
I thought this would be a better photo. Thank you, NASA.
Whoa, you do not like my hand animation?
No, keep going.
No, that is. That's from like 2020 where you had them really close and then they moved behind the sun. And so that was the great conjunction.
But do they not have like renderings of what it would look like in space?
They do. I actually did have a photo I pulled, but it was just of Mars and Earth. And I have it in my folder. I don't know why I didn't give it to you. That would have been helpful, right?
This is the closest thing I can find.
You have another one? Yeah, let's see. It's kind of, that's just, they're not that close together.
Like this?
Yeah. Oh, well, no, they're not even that close. Like they're
farther?
Hundreds of millions of miles apart. Yeah. They're
something in between?
I mean, that's kind of what it looks like, but not, And they have conjunctions of their own, where Jupiter and Saturn are on opposite sides of the sun. You know what I heard the other day? Completely unrelated. Jupiter. So you know how big Jupiter is? Mm-hmm. Jupiter's huge, right? It's like almost the size of our sun. There's like thousands, if not millions of Earths that could fit inside Jupiter. It's huge. It only has a 15-hour day.
What?
Yeah. It is spinning so
fast.
I didn't know this till just the other day. I was listening to a nerdy podcast. And they were talking about how fast this thing turns. I didn't realize the orbit was that quick.
Imagine if we had that.
Oh, it would just...
Work would go by like that. School days would be shorter.
That would be terrible. You have to wake up early. Like, you'd only get like 4 hours of sleep.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we would change the rules.
Well, so if you have a 14-hour day, that means you have 7 hours of night and 7 hours a day,
We need to sleep for 8 hours, so give us an extra hour.
Well, you wouldn't get the 8 hours, and you'd have to go to bed pretty much when the lights go out. That's because if we have to keep our same body types. But I think our bodies would evolve differently. We'd probably need less
light too.
Yeah, we need less light. And I wonder what the plant... Ooh, this is a good thought exercise.
Ooh,
how would
love
plant
this.
life change if plant only had 7 hours of daylight in a day?
Would it be bioluminescent because it would need light at night?
Possibly. Also, that's only on the equator. We'd actually have less or more light or night based on how far north or south you are. So, it's like if you go up like to New York, Chicago, they have much longer nights than we have here in Texas because we're closer to the equator. In fact, one of the reasons we launch spaceships from Texas and Florida is because we are closer to the equator, which means we are moving slower, but also we have more daylight. Anyway.
That's changing. Isn't there companies bringing like their rocket and launching areas here to Central Texas?
Texas is fine. So Texas is the closer to the equator, the further south you go, or closer to the equator, the easier it is to launch. It's like your launch windows are larger.
But does it have to be off the coast, or can they launch here in Austin?
You can't launch here because like Blue Origin does it in the middle of the desert. Why you launch off the coast? Why do you think it is?
Oh, to drop the debris in the water.
Exactly. Where does it crash?
In the water.
You want it to crash in the water. You want it to be somewhere. Also, if one of the reasons they like to land in the water, like we land like the capsules in the water, it's just a bigger target. You don't want to try to when you're flying that fast and that big of a distance, you don't want to be trying to hit a small target. You want to hit a large target.
Yeah.
And the ocean's a big, large, safe target.
But it's not safe. We have animals in there. We have mermaids. We have aliens in there.
Yeah, but those one real thing and two fake things are are pretty far apart. I mean, Atlantis is way deep, and so you're not going to get any disturbances.
But what about the turtles?
Mermaids. The turtles. Again, it's a big target. It's big. The ocean's so big. You're not going to hit them directly.
But eventually, the turtles are going to be swimming and hit their head on a rocket.
Yeah. Maybe. Again, it's big. You can walk out in a field for a long stretch and not hit anything a lot of times if it's an empty field.
Yeah.
Because the world's so big.
Yeah.
And we're so small. And turtles are even smaller than that. Anyway, back to Mars. So this will only last a few weeks here, this conjunction. Some of the conjunctions are a little longer based on, the orbits and stuff. An inferior conjunction, by the way, is the other one. That's Venus and Mercury.
Is that opposite?
No, it's the same where it's an inferior conjunction is Venus and Mercury on the other side of the sun. However, it's a tighter orbit, so it's inferior, right? It's superior.
Not that cool.
Bigger ones, yeah. So it's and then all these cool types of conjunctions. Anyway, no word from our Mars rovers for a little bit.
They're going down.
Right. Just taking a little naps.
Did you speak with anyone regarding these two topics?
On the next one I did, kind of sort of. So while we're talking about Curiosity with this one, Perseverance is our more recent rover.
Yeah.
And it's doing some cool science. And a new paper published in the scientific journal Science, which I love. You know how hard it is for me to write sometimes, where I'm the scientific journal Science or the scientific journal Nature. Some of these
names
magazines are just
sometimes the titles of people are whoa.
Sometimes the titles of the people who do these things are longer than the titles of the thing they're publishing. Anyway, the new paper was published talking about carbonate-rich rocks. I have a hard time with that word, by the way, carbonate-rich rocks. Along the Jezero crater on Mars. And Perseverance has been studying the Jezero crater. And one of the people who was looking at this was Bryony Horgan with NASA. And she is the lead on the Perseverance rover, which is the next rover, more recent rover we have on Mars. And so she sat down with the Associated Press. Like I said, I talked to them, but really it was Associated Press. Let's give them all the credit. It's the holidays. There's not my normal.
We're all fighting for stories.
My people are not at work right now. On Friday, I needed an interview, and there was one guy who I called, and he's like, I might be able to get you something, and he did.
Oh.
But my normal people are not available. Anyway.
Vacation.
But AP was able to get this ahead of the holidays. People just don't work right now. And she kind of explains what they found in this lake, how it explains kind of the atmosphere of Mars, how it explains water on Mars, what it can mean for now, and what it means to have Perseverance on Mars. Anyway, lots of Mars talk today. Let's listen to that quick little interview now.
What was the climate of ancient Mars like? Was it warm and wet and habitable, or was it a much colder, icier place that would have been less clement for life? Hi, my name is Bryony Horgan, and I'm a professor of planetary science at Purdue University. During Perseverance's exploration of the Martian unit in Jezero crater, I was the campaign science lead, which meant that I helped design the campaign, decide what kinds of samples we were going to take, and where we would investigate them. The Perseverance rover has been exploring Jezero crater on Mars for over 4 years now, and one of the last things we did before leaving the crater was to explore the Martian unit. This is an area right along the edge of the crater that from orbit we detected really strong signatures of the mineral carbonate. Carbonate's important because it forms in the presence of water, and we found it in sort of a bathtub ring around the edge of the crater. It was suggested to us it could be related to the shoreline of an ancient lake. This paper is important because it shows that the carbonate did indeed form through water interacting with the rocks along the edge of the crater, and that we think it did indeed come from the lake itself. So it was alteration along the beaches of ancient Jezero Lake. While we were exploring the Martian unit, we collected several samples of the carbonate and silica-bearing rocks there. We hope to eventually bring those samples home because carbonate is an excellent record of the environment and climate that it once formed in. By looking at things like the isotopic composition of the carbonates, we can actually infer what was the climate of ancient Mars, everything from atmospheric pressure, temperature, rainfall, all kinds of amazing numbers like that we would love to know more about Mars. One of the big outstanding problems on Mars is where did the atmosphere go? It's mostly composed of carbon dioxide. Today it's very thin. It's actually not thick enough to support liquid water on the surface, but we see abundant evidence that it had a thicker CO2 atmosphere in the past. However, when you have a lot of carbon dioxide, you expect to form a lot of carbonates. Mars has much more carbon dioxide in its atmosphere today than even Earth does today. So it's a mystery because we actually do not see very many carbonate deposits on Mars. So there's a big question, where did the atmosphere go? So now that we've actually visited one of the best carbonate outcrops on Mars, we can start to help understand why. Why did that change? Maybe the carbonate dissolved. Maybe it was never precipitated in other places, but we have that information now to start tackling that problem. Since leaving the Martian unit, the rover has climbed up the rim of Jezero crater and out the other side. We're now exploring terrains beyond Jezero, which contain rocks that are even older than what we saw in the Martian unit. And we're hoping to learn even more about the past climate, environments, and potential to support life from ancient Mars. So the Perseverance rover is an amazing robot. It's done all kinds of great science on Mars, but of course it's not a human. It's not the same as being a geologist in the field looking at a rock. But we've been able to do all kinds of amazing analyses that you would normally not be able to do outside as a human. We have all kinds of amazing microscopes and spectrometers and other incredible laser-based instruments on board the rover. We have a ground-penetrating radar that can look at the surface under our feet and what the structure is below us. We have all kinds of amazing techniques we can use to interrogate the rocks that are in many ways similar to the kinds of lab analyses you would do back here on Earth. But it's never the same as being able to stand there in person and look at the rock yourself.
I bet if they gave you that opportunity, you would do it. Stand there in person and look at the rock by yourself.
Yeah, if I can get back in time. What we really need is some teleporting technology. Then I would go to Mars in an instant. But yeah, I can't. Maybe I have codependency issues.
One day they'll let you do
I
that.
like being at home with my family. You know what we did last night?
What?
We got home, we watched an episode of Welcome to Derry because we're a few weeks behind. Mm-hmm. And then he fell asleep and I played Silent Hill 2 remake.
By yourself.
By myself in the dark. Scared me a little bit. When I played scary games, I put a podcast on. Anyway, we did. It just kind of distracts me, so I don't get scared as easy. But and I
It's
took
like
the dogs out.
watch a Disney movie after playing
Right.
those games.
And I watched the new episode of Taskmaster, Champion of Champions, Chapter 4. Best show on TV, by the way. If you haven't watched Taskmaster, it's for free on YouTube. It brings joy to my life every week, or when the seasons are on. And then we went to bed, and that's my perfect day.
Wow.
So me going to Mars, I'd have to take all that.
And take it with you.
And take it with me. I'd have to take him. He won't go. I'd have to bring all my video games and have to bring every episode of Taskmaster.
All
but
the
more
pets.
importantly, the new episodes of Taskmaster, which don't start for a few months. And all the pets, yeah. Have my pity mix on Mars would be challenging.
Oh, that would be so
He's
cute.
a baby, too. He's only a year old, so I'm full on. He bit my hand yesterday while playing. I was playing tug of war, and he got my hand.
He's a baby.
He's a baby. I know. I'm that's hard because he's such a baby. He's a baby boy. Anyway, Mars. Yeah, about to take all that with me.
So what you're saying is they have 2 rovers on Mars at the same time.
They have more than that. There's a couple other ones too.
Oh, wow.
But two active ones: Curiosity and Perseverance. And Perseverance, looking at the solar terrain, looking at how lakes got there, that kind of thing. So pretty cool. And now it's moved to the next location.
Pretty cool. And
Pretty
the
cool.
othave one is taking a break.
Well, they're both taking a break now.
Oh, they're both?
Everything on Mars is taking a break for the month because there's no communication. We have similar issues with communicating on the far side of the moon. Just you had to get signals around. And so they're building a satellite network there, but Mars is pretty far away.
And the moon is closer to us. Yeah.
I could see a few 100 years from now having a big
Satellite
network
just going around
the whole solar system.
Wait, can you try that again?
All around, just fully all these satellites all around the solar system, and directing signals across the different planets. I could see a comms network being built over time.
Yeah.
So it's not so much because right now it's line of sight. It's
and it's only
we're
one.
here. There's Mars. Send a signal. But eventually we're gonna need these things called
multiple.
Lagrange points or Lagrange points, and those are spots in space.
Fancy word.
I know it's a little French. I took French and Duolingo for 2 years. That's all I got. But it's these spots where gravity kind of keeps things in an equalized position, where they're kind of constant positions due to how gravity works. And so I can see them putting satellites in those spots, which there's 6 of them around each planet, I'm pretty sure. And then you kind of could bounce signals easier, stuff like that.
I just love all of your little examples. I think what I'm going to get
models.
you for Christmas, is like planets on sticks. So that you can actually do it.
I can move a stick over into a thing and then get little spaceships. When I first started this shop, I wanted to buy like little metal
or a
figurines.
Whiteboard. We can put a whiteboard on the wall.
We could put a whiteboard, and you can see how terrible my handwriting is.
You could just draw it.
We have a camera over here.
We get another camera.
This one here, we just like point it there.
Let's make a plan.
We got a plan. We got a plan. I'm too many diagrams, too many imagery.
Too many arm gestures.
What, do we not like my professorial
No,
arm
I
gestures?
do. You just need to give me a cue.
I'm going to move my arms a lot. Even this camera doesn't. I have to kind of get back.
Yeah.
Anyway. Y'all, it's Christmas time.
We need to figure it out.
We have weird energy today. I walked in the door way too happy this morning and freaked everybody out.
And from the moment you walked into my studio, you were laughing until you sat down, until I started the show, and then you stopped laughing.
In a good mood. Only got one more day left to work this year.
We're holly jolly right now.
We got today and tomorrow. That's all. I'm good. You want to talk about NORAD a little bit?
Yes, we're talking about Santa Claus.
Santa Claus. So every year, boys and girls, Santa Claus brings gifts to every good child on the planet. The bad children get coal, of course. But for 70 years, NORAD, which I do not remember the acronym stands for. NORAD, which is our national...
Let me Google it.
Yeah, what does the acronym stand for? I feel so stupid now. It's air defense.
North American Aerospace Defense. Nope.
North American.
Is that it? That's what popped out.
Wow,
North American Aerospace Defense Command.
Where did the O come from in NORAD?
NORAD Co.
All right. Well, that acronym makes no sense, but I'm not in charge. Anyway, NORAD for 70 years has been tracking Santa. I remember as a kid, I'd like tune in.
Yeah, I
to
remember.
The local news.
I would say, Mom, put it on.
Jacob
I
Rankin was on. We'd watch on NBC because I was always an NBC kid.
Mm-hmm.
We'd watch as they do the NORAD Santa tracker. Mm-hmm. And this year, I think Nick Bannon's working, so he's gonna have to do it. So watch Nick Bannon do the NORAD Santa tracker.
Tracking Santa.
I've now said it's happening, so now he has to do it.
Yeah.
So this has been my evil plan the whole time.
He's gonna watch this and message you right away.
Why'd you do that to me, Eric? So he's having to do the NORAD Santa tracker. NORAD tracks where Santa's located every year. They have this whole history about it, and it's really kind of cool what they do. So they do it from 4 a.m. to midnight Mountain Standard Time on Christmas Eve. Mm-hmm. So they go all through the day. They have 1,000 volunteers that answer phone calls because kids from around the world will call NORAD and say, "Where's Santa? Where's Santa?" And their parents, because kids can't work phones, I guess.
So cute.
You can actually, this is the first year you can track Santa through NORAD's website.
Ooh.
Yeah. It is done in 9 languages. And these are my fun facts for y'all. Last year, NORAD received 380,000 phone calls at their Peterson Space Force Base in Colorado.
Looking for Santa. Kids looking for Santa.
Looking for Santa. Where is Santa? The history of it, some of the crew with NORAD talked to the Associated Press. Again, this is where we're at this week, y'all.
It's the holidays.
It's the holidays. About the history of it. And here, let's take a look at that.
So 70 years ago, a young child accidentally dialed the predecessor of NORAD, which is the Continental Air Defense Command, and the colonel who answered the phone heard a child asking him, "Where's Santa Claus?" And the colonel realized, well, we track everything over North America, and so we absolutely can see where Santa Claus is. We normally just track threats, but he looked up where Santa was and reported it to the child, and then our tradition was born. And so many, many people around the globe call us on December 24th. Last year, we took almost 400,000 phone calls. This year, we think we will take more. NORAD tracks Santa using the same capabilities that we use 24/7 to keep the avenues of approach to North America safe. It's a combination of radars, satellites, and fighter jets.
400,000 phone calls last year?
Yeah, they're expecting more this year.
Wow.
All right, this is my favorite fun fact. This is what NORAD says. They say they detect his signature, besides the jets that are flanking him, by following the heat signature from Rudolph's nose.
Aww.
It glows so bright. That's how NORAD finds Santa's sleigh.
That is how they track him.
Pretty wild, right? It's
what
fun.
would we do without NORAD?
We'd have a lot of air defense issues. It ties into space because they use satellites in space.
Yeah.
There's your space connection.
There we go.
There you go. I did my job. We have a satellite in our logo. There's our chance. Some of the crew, the people who talked to these kids, spoke with AP. This is cute. Take a look at it. I think it's cute. I know. Take a look at this. It's just cute. Just take it.
It's kind of funny because I don't think you ever really know who to expect on the other end of the line. Like I said, sometimes it could be a British pub and everybody's going wild and there's like dozens of people in the background cracking up and having fun and asking us silly questions, and then all the way to a child maybe in the hospital with their parent wondering if Santa's still going to stop by because they're in a hospital with their parents. We tell them yes, as long as the joy and the belief of Santa is in your heart, and and that's where he's at, then he's going to come. There's nothing more, I think, special than a child's eyes lighting up, or a child just feeling pure joy about something that they believe in, and it's a do-good thing. And so I think just hearing little kids laugh and giggle and ask silly questions, it's fun. And so if we could bring that joy to them in some way, shape, or form, then I think we did our job.
That is so sweet. All
It
the
is
little
sweet.
kiddos calling in, and all those volunteers.
I
You
know.
said there was more than 1,000 volunteers just picking up the phone and talking to little babies.
Talking to kids, and then drunk guys at the pub.
Oh,
But man,
where's
year-
Santa?
every year my in-laws, my grandfather-in-law, I guess is what you call him, dresses up like Santa and surprises the kids. And some of them love it, some of them are terrified, and I think it's so funny. But he dresses up. He does not look like Santa at all. But it's
My
very
dad
amusing.
used to do that, and I was the only kid that was like, "That is my dad. I don't know what you guys are talking about."
Right. Yeah, I don't think my dad ever did. I think they hired someone one year when Santa was popping around. We still get gifts from Santa at our house.
Yeah, me too. I still get gifts from Santa for my
I think my
parents.
parents. Okay, spoiler. No, cover the kids' ears. I think my parents put Santa on the things from both of them.
Yeah, I absolutely can tell you that is
I
true.
think that's what they're doing. I'm pretty sure I'll do that with my kids someday. But yeah,
That's so cute.
Nora, super cute. I saw that interview. I was like, I gotta share both of these. It's, where else are you gonna see that but the space?
Yeah, when we here in our spaceship are tracking
Yeah.
Santa as well.
Yeah, Spaceship Plus.
Yeah,
The
it's
plus
Spaceship
ship.
You can see our satellite right
We have a
here.
satellite. We're gonna have a whiteboard over here very soon.
Next year, we've got that.
I think I have one upstairs. I have access to some supply closets in this place.
Well,
Yeah.
what I do want to add to our shows in this new year, starting today, is a fun topic that I bring to you after our shows.
No.
And it can be space related, it can be somewhat space related, but
Okay, you're throwing an end of the year twist at me. All
Yes.
right, what do you got?
my question is, have you seen the new Avatar movie?
All right, let's talk about Avatar 3 Fire and Ash for just a second.
Yeah,
Yes,
we're
I
not
saw
plugging it, but
I saw it Thursday. I'm plugging it. I mean, they're not paying me, but I'm going to plug it anyway. I saw it last Thursday. It was fantastic. I had a blast.
you liked it?
Yeah,
I don't know.
James Cameron knows how to make a movie. Like, that's what it comes down to. Like, he just knows how to make a movie.
Yeah.
There were action scenes in there, and I was watching it going, like, how are they?
It
Like,
looked
how
like
do
a
you
video
do this?
game. Have you ever played Halo?
I played
It
how
looks
many
like
games I
that.
play a week?
It
Like, I'm a
looked
big gamer.
exactly like that. Like you look down and for a second it's a battle scene.
There's stuff in there that is just. I think visuals are better than a lot of games for sure. I visually, I think it's outstanding. I think the way he manipulates the camera and like some things were definitely repeated from the second film.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? I had fun. There was a giant whale battle.
There
Who
was,
cares?
and that was so cool.
There was like a fight in like a human city at one point. I'm trying not to spoil it too much. And there's just a cool fight. And it's not like a big fight, but it's just like the way it was filmed. I was just like, gosh, this is impressive.
How did they do that?
It was, and there was a thing I was thinking about, like, so they're in like motion capture suits, right? And the way they just record all their movements, and they kind of build the scene afterwards. There's no camera, not really. There's a camera, but just capturing.
They're in green screens, aren't they? Like
They're
green
in like
screen
a-
suits.
They're in like a big box, and it has like different like foams and things they
Yeah.
can climb on. But they have like these like a camera at their face, and they have motion capture dots. It's just there's not really a camera per se. There's not really even a green screen because
It's
capturing
all
their motions.
CGI, pretty
Right.
much.
Oh, except for the kid. The
Yeah.
kid who plays Spider, who was
He's real.
like he was like 12 when they first filmed it. And then he had to come back a couple years later and refilm the movie because now he's the actual age they need him and the actual height they need him.
Yeah.
because he looked like what they wanted him to look like.
And that's why it took so long, because the first one came out in 2009. Then we waited like
He developed the technology. The big one was the water.
Yeah.
Because to film in motion capture in water, you have a lot of light reflection issues.
Mm-hmm.
So they came up with a way to like cover it. You've probably seen the photos where they cover it in like a bunch of balls, and then they go under like
and they're recording from.
And they were able to record them underwater.
lower.
And then Sigourney Weaver plays a 14-year-old. This movie is insane, and it's so fun. Varang, the new bad guy, is hot, hot and angry and cool, and just like all this stuff. Just like she's just awesome villain.
Yeah,
and
she's just a fire person.
Yeah, she blows smoke everywhere, and then like whenever she flies down, there's like a big trail of smoke pouring out. It's just crazy.
And then when she
So
discovers like the guns that the military had,
and bring me thunder.
she was going crazy.
So when did you see it? Did you see it in 3D or 2D?
I saw it in regular.
Yeah,
2D.
we saw it in 2D. My
I
husband
heard that
gets
3D
sick.
was not that good though.
I think those films are the best for 3D. I think just 3D is kind of fallen out of favor. I wish I could go back and see 2 in 3D, because I also to see that in 2D, because my husband gets so sick during 3D movies we can't go, and so I want to go see it in IMAX in 3D.
I saw it in IMAX, but not 3D.
Ooh, that's so cool. I'd love to see it.
It
in
was
IMAX.
cool.
We saw it at Draft House.
But do you think that that's really what maybe life on Jupiter would look like if we had
Not Jupiter, but other planets. Yeah, I think he's really thought through just the ecology of things in a very
the bioluminescent forests and the stuff on the floor.
And all of it's like kind of built off like a fungi thought process. So sometimes this is a thought experiment I'll do, is I'll think about like, okay, so Earth began at the oceans, and then we had like a lot of land, and the volcanoes helped produce a lot of oxygen. So we're a carbon-based society, and a lot because the structure of the planet has built the human race a certain way.
Yeah.
Why do we stand up? It's because the grasses were tall.
Yeah.
And so we need to see predators. So what if the plants evolved to be more of like a fungi base than what our planet is? And that's kind of where Avatar is. It feels like it's very much based off, talk about the bioluminescence, but it seems more based
off of nature.
Well, and also like that planet, it's a moon actually. It orbits a larger planet, and that planet gives them eclipses more often, and they're in darkness more often.
Yeah.
So like we talked about earlier, if Earth was only had a 7-hour day, how would that shift our planet? It's a very similar thought process. Like if a world always had like constant rain because it's like a giant archipelago, how would that alter the biodiversity on that planet?
Like the human race too. We would probably have, I don't know, like weird hands or different type of skin.
Skin that would be able to like water rub off or be more scale-like. So there's things like that where you think about. I think James Cameron's really thought that through. But at the end of the day, though, he's just a great filmmaker. Like he's so good, and there's some shots in there that just wow me. Yeah. There is some repetitiveness, but I think the when the action starts going, it's great.
It gets crazy. Yeah. I like to pay attention to like the setting of the movie. If you look up and look around while like the storyline is happening, there was a moment where you could see like a planet from their sky, and it was so big. Imagine if we could see that here. That would be amazing.
I mean, it's kind of like if we lived on the moon, we turn around there, the Earth is. It's kind of like
we'd
inverse.
see the Earth. Yeah.
Right. It's wild. Avatar, I loved it.
I loved it too.
I hope they get a 4th and 5th one.
I just did not love how long it was.
It is long, but the thing is, those movies are so long, you kind of just like vibe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just kind of
vibe.
Watch it. Sit next to someone for 3.5 hours. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, we went right after work, and I had just like done a big story that day, and I was really tired. But I got a cup of coffee when I got there, and then and a soda, and then I got the grilled chicken club.
Ooh, what a combination!
I did coffee. It moves 3.5 hours. In fact, in the last hour, I ordered a thing of popcorn. We didn't have popcorn before that. I ordered popcorn because I'm like, we got another hour and a half easy in this movie, and we did. I finished
Time
the popcorn.
to chow down some popcorn.
Like, why not at that point?
Well, I hope that we continue these little segments at the end of our episodes because it's fun to talk about something space-related.
You like throwing me a curveball.
Space-related, but still happening right now.
You know I got thoughts and things and stuff.
You do.
Okay.
Well, thanks for joining me, Eric.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you next week.
See you next year.
See you next year.
Okay, bye.
Bye.